Shorts.
Compilation.
This basing tutorial builds upon some of the previous shorts that I'd made before. This time we're adding a little bit more to the base, however. To start things out, I'm slicing pieces of a box of minis to resemble shattered tiles. Next, we'll be gluing the base and using very thin cork and smashing it onto that glue. Pick away at the excess, and then make sure to add more glue around the tiles and the piece of cork. I'll then dunk the base into a thing of mixed rocks and sand. I'll then be clipping a piece of round sprue like we did in previous tutorials. I'll then hollow it out with my drill and then clean it with my Dremel. I added some glue and then I struggled to smash another piece of cork onto the pipe. But after a while I got it. I then added a generous amount of glue over the smashed cork, and then I took the base into our mixed bowl of sand and rocks again. Don't be afraid to clean the excess amount of sand, and then your base should look something like this. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. And check out the channel for some full-length tutorials. We're back again with our base, and this time we're spraying it fully with black. After that black is dry, we're going to dry brush all over the base using Ghost Gray. I'll then pick out some of the tiles using Vallejo Model Color Scarlet. Apply Wildwood over the sand heavily around the base. We'll then paint the pipe using Vallejo Model Color Black, and then any metal of your choosing. I'll then apply a little bit more Wildwood over the tiles, just to make it look a little bit more dirty. I then dry brush using Vallejo Model Color Olive. I would then mix a good amount of Coolia Green shade with the olive, and then I would sponge it into our dry brushed olive. Using still water from Vallejo Effects, I would mix it together with bile and a little bit of Wildwood to make some dirty water. I would apply this very lightly though. I would then apply burnt umber from Vallejo Pigments, and then I'd pool still water into the bottom of the base. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. And check out the channel for some full-length tutorials. Let's paint some Necromunda bases. First we'll start with black, then spray over with Beastly Brown, focusing primarily in the middle to leave some black showing underneath. We'll then take some watered down orange flare onto a brush, and then we'll spray it with an airbrush, creating a randomly speckled rust pattern. We'll then take a dry brush, preferably my tester's dry brush, and streak over with metallic silver. The streakier the better. We'll then take some Ryza Rust, water it down, and then neatly paint it into all the recesses. Using the brush and airbrush method we used earlier, you can add a little blood, slime, or grime. We could call it done, but some hazard stripes would look cool. Pick a section and then paint it entirely with white, then Imperial Fist yellow. I'll then add some tape and paint it entirely with black. Once it's done, we'll strip off the tape, and then we'll dry brush over with a little bit more metallic silver. Following all these steps, you'll have something like this. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. And check out the channel for some full-length tutorials. Let's paint some forest bases. We'll first start by spreading Vallejo brown earth texture over a base, and then we'll add some glue over the texture once it's solid. We'll then give the base a little dip in my random pebbles and then blow away the excess. We'll then apply a generous amount of Dark Angel's green mixed with some water, making sure just to leave a little bit of that brown undertone showing underneath. Once it's dry, we'll add just a little bit of moot green with a dry brush, and then afterwards we're going to do a splotchy dry brushing of Phalanx yellow. Using this little cup, I'm going to mix together some static grass from Army Painter, Citadel, and some old diorama kits. Using a variation of grasses makes it look more natural. Apply a little bit more glue to the base, and then dunk that mixed grass over it. I'll then add some of those Army Painter's bushes and shrubs, and we'll fill in any bald spots using a little bit more grass. And there you have it. It's a very easy way to make some good foresty areas, especially for Star Wars Legion if you want to paint Endor bases. Like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Let's paint some desert bases. First we'll break up some cork and make some underlying terrain, as well as dip the base in a mixture of sand and rocks. Spray over this with Rhinox hide, then apply a healthy amount of Agrellan earth and let it dry overnight. If you're going to do these bases, I would suggest pinning the miniature to the base. Using just glue will not suffice. We'll then dry brush over gently with Ustabi Bone, and then sponging dry brush with Elfic Flesh. We'll then shade a little bit with Reikland Flesh Shade mixed with a tiny bit of Vallejo Yellow ink. We'll speckle this on the outer lying edges of the base, and then we'll mix in a little bit of Nuln Oil into the cracks. Once that's dry, we'll add a little bit of our tufts, and then we can add just a tiny bit of Desert Dust from Vallejo Pigments. But that's all there is to it. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. And make sure to check out the channel for some full-length tutorials. Let's paint some toxic waste bases. First, you'll want to paint up a base with any texture you please with its respective wash and highlight. We'll start by painting Caliban green into any areas on the base that have less texture, giving the effect as if our toxic waste is pooling. We'll then paint over the Caliban green using orc flesh. Make sure to paint the entirety of the Caliban green with this color, and get just a tiny bit onto the areas that aren't painted with Caliban green. We'll then add a generous amount of Vallejo model color bile. We'll want to at least add 2 thin coats. For this, I will not be thinning it down at all. If you use a lot of it, it will leave actual bubbles, which works to the effect. For a finishing touch, we'll use just a little piece of Q-tip. We'll pinch it off, and then we'll place it into the bile. This doesn't require any glue, as the paint will harden around it. And there you have it, a really easy and cool toxic waste effect. Share it with a friend, and like, comment, and subscribe if you liked what you saw. And check out the channel for full-length tutorials. Today I've gotten an alternative method to my Necromunda bases. This method is quick, easy, and you don't need an airbrush. First we'll sponge on Parasite Brown over black, and I'll dry brush over using Vallejo Game Color Metallic. Then in the lower panels I'm applying Snakebite Leather. I'll then be applying another quick dry brush of Metallic Silver, and then one with Brass Scorpion. I wasn't exactly happy with the Brass Scorpion, so I highlighted streakily with Sycorax Bronze. I then apply a generous amount of Nihilok Oxide into the lower panels. We'll then water down some Ryza Rust and we'll apply it in the recesses of the upper panels. I'm being rather generous with this application as well. Once it's dried, I then finish it off with a highlight of Vallejo Air Metallic Silver. This leaves us with an incredibly beat-around industrial base. If you like what you saw, leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. And check out the channel for some full-length tutorials. Let's paint some Mars/Rust bases. First we'll coat the base in Vallejo Texture Brown Earth. Then we'll coat the entire base in Gryph-hound Orange. We'll then dry brush over using Tau Ochre, and oddly enough we'll be using another ochre in the form of Vallejo Dark Yellow Ochre Pigment. And for color I just decided to use some Rust Weathering Powder. That was barely any effort, and I think it looks amazing. Some people say weathering powder is cheating, but I say if you're not cheating, you're not trying. If you liked what you saw, leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more, share it with your friends, and check out the channel for some full-length tutorials. Let's make some muddy bases. First we'll apply a generous helping of Sterling Battlemire. Once it adheres, dry brush over using Doombull Brown. We'll then mix together Elfic Flesh and Sterling Battlemire, water it down, and spray it at the miniature using an airbrush. As a final piece, we'll use some UV resin. Mix some of our previous mixture into the UV resin and then adhere it. You'll end up with something like this. If you liked what you saw, leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more, and check out the main video. Let's paint some cave bases. First we'll clip some sections of sprue and then sharpen them into points for stalagmites. Stalactites? Whichever one. We'll cut them into cones and then sand them down just so they're not as pointy. We'll then glue them to the base, and then we'll add a little bit of cork just to make up any rocks around them. We'll mostly focus this towards the side so the miniature has a nice place to stand. We'll then add a healthy amount of coarse basing texture from Proacryl. We'll smear this all over the base and the rocks. We'll then wash the entirety using some Nuln Oil gloss. Once that's dry, we'll use a dry brushing of very light Ghost Gray. We'll then mix together Dark Angel's Green with Still Water from Vallejo Effects. We'll pull this mixture into the bottom of the base and then mix in just a little bit of Tyran Blue for color. And that's all there is to it. A very simple but effective base. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. Share it with your friends, and check out the channel for full-length tutorials. Hey, today I'm going to show you how I made these snow bases for my Not Krieg kill team. First we'll apply some Proacryl coarse basing texture to the base. Quick tip, but if you have a putty molding tool, these work great for texture paints. Once it dries, give this a generous coating of dark wash. For this I'm using Oblivion Black Wash. Give it a good while to dry, and then go over with a relatively thick dry brushing of Ghost Gray. We'll then apply Dark Sea Green to the outer edges of the base as well as any indents in the texture. We'll then fill these in using UV resin, and once it's cured, roughly scratch over with a sander. leave a little bit of glossiness, however. You could also do this with gloss varnish, but I find the UV resin to be a better candidate. Add a winter shrub and sprinkle some Valhellan Blizzard over the shrub and apply it sparingly over the basing texture. After that, you're good to go. Check out the main video if you liked what you saw here, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more.